Well, happy Thursday, people. So now it's a Rusty Rumour roundup of exit players. Well, a very happy Thursday for you. Oh, my chin looks really fucking fat, doesn't it? Well, if I had a shave anyway, I'd do it like this. No, I've got no neck. I've got neck anyway. Anyway, Rusty and the West End Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Thursday. Now, Thursday we used to do a Rusty Rumour roundup. But I thought today we'll mix it up and we'll do a roundup of player exits. And the latest we've got. Obviously, we've signed plenty of players already. Potentially some more. We did sign a player today. Mamadou Kante. We'll talk about that more in Hammer's headlines. He is a unit, according to Academy manager Kenny Brown when I spoke to him just now. But let's talk about some of the players who are going to be leaving. And there's obviously lots. And in the last sort of 48 hours, there's been a lot of information that's come out, it seems. A lot of interest has just creeped up out of nowhere for our players. Holly's mentioned, I think it was yesterday, about up to 9 players, and there's been a few more developments over the last sort of 24 hours. Let's crack on. Let's start with Luizao, the 22-year-old Brazilian centre half we brought from Sao Paulo. He was part of the Newman Revolution. Do you remember Rob Newman went over there, started the Brazilian Revolution? Obviously, we've got Luis Guilherme now, but Luizao was the first, and has not made a single appearance for the West Ham first team, and has basically been stuck in the under-21s since joining. He was injured towards the end of last season, got back in, played actually this week, last week rather, for the under-21s, and this week as well in the 3-1 defeat against Reading. But he has been the subject of a lot of interest from Brazilian and Portuguese sides, and it looks like Corinthians is going to be the most likely destination for him. However, there is a slight issue, a slight fly in the ointment in terms of the valuation. West Ham have told Corinthians they would need to pay £4.2 million for a permanent signing for Luizao if they loan him this summer. That's according to the Brazilian journalist Bruno Andrade. Portuguese journalist Bruno Andrade, who said yesterday that the Irons want 4.2 million for 70% of the player's rights in order to sanction Luiz's loan to Corinthians, with negotiations already underway. A permanent option of 2.5 is apparently been offered by the Corinthians, who reportedly favours a move to the Sao Paulo side, having obviously signed for Sao Paulo. You know, obviously they're arch rivals. Now, what's interesting is they still want to collect an additional £1.7 million on top. At 22, I think we're splitting hairs now. I think we'll probably meet in the middle, to be honest. He needs to be playing. He's 22 now. Needs to be playing regular football, regular first-team football, not getting that at West Ham. And a return to Sao Paulo could provide that, and potentially on a permanent basis if things work out well for him. There's little chance of him getting any game time at West Ham. And he's a mile off getting in the starting 11. So it seems something which is the best avenue for all parties. It means also the fact is that we can bring in someone from the 18, someone like Ezra Mayers, and get more game time playing for the 21s, who obviously we have high hopes for, as well as a number of other players as well. So I think, I've been fortunate enough to watch a lot of Academy Football under-21s last season and this season as well. And for me, nowhere near even at under-21 level. I think panics on the ball a little bit, and obviously getting injured and stuff hasn't helped. But I wish him all the best in his future endeavours, in all honesty. So yeah, out on loan, permanent deal, perfect, absolutely perfect for him and for the club as well. The experiment failed, didn't it, when it came to Luizao? Staying with the youngsters, let's talk about Freddie Potts. He apparently is nearing an exit to the club on a season-long loan, according to X, and then several other people as well. Now, There's one or two clubs apparently interested in him. Wickham, obviously, he was last year's player of the season at Wickham, and player of the season on a season on loan to Wickham Wanderers last season. They apparently are back in for him, the League One side. But also, there's been a slight twist there. Wickham apparently also put another bid in for getting Gideon Kadoa on loan, but they pulled out of that one for some reason, or maybe West Ham have pulled the plug on that one. I don't know. That hasn't been confirmed. But apparently they're backing for Freddie. So, he obviously would suit the side. He knows the side straight away. He could play at the weekend. Another possible destination for him could be Portsmouth, according to X. And that would obviously be a step up. Obviously, Pompey got promoted from League One last season, so they would have played against Freddie firsthand, so they know what he brings. So it would be a move up to the championship side. So, I mean, again, a similar situation, not as dire as Luizao, but the thing is with Freddie, particularly if Carlos Soler comes in and we don't ship out anyone like Souček or JWP, and even if we do, he's going to be he's going to be third choice in that CDM role with Rodriguez and Alvarez. And if they don't play double pivot, if they do play double pivot, he's still going to be on the bench. If they don't play double pivot, then there's that. And there's Paqueta, there's JWP, there's Souček, there's potentially Carlos Soler as well. And he needs reps, he needs game time. And obviously, for me, he's someone who has really shown the benefit of what going out on loan means. And he's really sort of taken it in his stride. So hopefully another successful loan. I think, honestly, I probably would go back to Wickham. He knows it quite well and he fits straight in. But I imagine Pompey will be pushing hard for Freddie because he's a bloody good player. Let's talk about Maxwell Cornet, shall we? The forgotten man, 27-year-old Ivorian international. Contract with us until June 2027. It's made 37 appearances for West Ham. Considering Alvarez made 42, but then Alvarez was the year after in it. But anyway. Now, although he's 37 appearances, only 21 of them were in the Premier League and only one goal to his name. Should have been two, shouldn't it? Could you imagine? It's like one of those sliding doors moments. That Chelsea game, if he'd scored that goal, where could Maxwell have been? Would he have got injured? I don't know. But according to reports, he has a number of clubs interested in him, mainly in Turkey, apparently, is a key name. The only issue is, I don't think it'd be a permanent sale because he won't pass a medical because of his legs, his thighs. So it'd have to be likely to be a loan deal. He would get you off the books. He's on about 65 grand a week, approximately. There wasn't even talk of Burnley coming back in from it and interest in Everton, but I can't see that happening. I think Turkey would probably be the destination for him. Maybe Galatasaray, who we apparently are in talks with to sign one of their centre-halves, but we can talk about that at Hammer's Headlines later on. And obviously, Wilfried Zaha is someone who is linked with a move back to the Premier League, including West Ham as an option. I don't think it will be now, but they may be looking for a winger to take his mantle. Not saying Maxwell Cornet is the answer, but we can hope for West Ham in terms of getting him off the books. One player who's a bit like the hokey-cokey, is he in or is he out, is Dinos Mavropanos. Now, according to the German publication Kicker, it said that Stuttgart are interested in re-signing Dinos in the summer transfer window. There's a couple of players they're looking at, him and Burnley's Al-Dakir, and they're looking to bring in a number of defensive reinforcements, particularly after a number of their defensive options, in terms of transfer targets have fallen through and gone to other places. So they could go back to the well and bring Mavropanos back. Now, according to Sean Wheatston, we've got a valuation of about £13 million on his head for any club interested in him, which I think is an absolute bargain for a 26-year-old. He's had in different games. He played well, and I apologise to him. I'm sure he's watching. I was quite critical of him on Saturday, but the dust settled. I rewatched the game, and it was mainly Soufal rather than him. And he was actually doubling up, really, to be fair. But apparently the door has been opened by Stuttgart. Now, has it or hasn't it? Well, that's the article that was in Kicker. Today, Sky Sports is Germany's Florian Peltenberg, my favourite friend. He has actually said on Twitter, so X, that Dinos isn't pursuing a move to Stuttgart. He's happy to stay in East London and see out his contract. He has no intention of leaving West Ham and wants to remain an Irons player this season. Now, that's not saying that Stuttgart aren't interested in him. It's just saying that Dinos does not want to leave, which is fair enough. Fair enough. I don't want to leave if I'm on 80 grand a week and not playing and sitting on the bench. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. We need to move players on. We know that, technically Zouma's still in the books. I think there will be a point where we will have to probably pay off his contract. I'll be honest, I'd rather we keep him than pay off the contract, in all honesty, because then you basically, there's no return on investment. There'll be no return on investment anyway, but you might as well keep him and have him in the reserves. And if we need him, play him, and then he can go in the summer next year on a free transfer, rather than spend money now paying him off, which is going to cost 4 million quid, something like that, which comes out of our transfer budget in terms of sort of PSR. And I think I don't know. Probably not, but that's the way I see it. Because I appreciate you spending the same amount of money over, unless we do a deal with him and we get him off the books for a couple of million quid and save ourselves a couple of million quid in wages. That's the only option. But yeah, it does seem that both Zouma and Nayef Iged have got the same agent punting them out in the UAE and in the Saudi Pro League as well, looking for potential destinations for both of them. We have been linked to another centre halves coming in. There is going to be a bit of a fire sale at Chelsea, so I wouldn't be surprised if Trevor Chalobah could be a maybe transfer window deadline day signing, because everyone in the world knows that Chelsea got to sell their players, so they're going to so all the players and all the teams interested in any of the Chelsea players are going to lowball them last day of the season, last transfer day, in order to get a decent deal, because they know they're desperate and they need to clear them off the books. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit of movement with that towards the end of the transfer window, particularly in the centre half spots. And Finalamon, it was reported by a few outlets, Sky Sports and various others, that the only way Edson Alvarez is leaving is if it is a ridiculous offer. But that's the same as everyone. No player is not for sale. And there was a bit of hoo-ha about this. People, he's off. No, it's just been realistic. At the end of the day, you've got a player who is going to command a lot of money from the likes of Man United, people like that. They're interested. He's a good player. It would take 100. I think if Newcastle came in and whacked 120 million quid for Jarrod Bowen, we'd probably sell him. No player is unsellable at West Ham. Kudus. I mean, if Liverpool came in for £100 million, I think we'd consider it. I think we would do. But the thing about Kudus, the thing about Alvarez is what's different now than what was different 2 years ago before Tim comes in is what I've called the circle of life. Now, you can see what's happening with Tim in terms of the types of players he's bringing in and how they're sort of working. It's not even the circle of life. It should be the evolution of man, the evolution of West Ham. So he's brought in players now. So, for example, if we look at the top one, defensive midfield, Rodriguez, he's brought in Alvarez, two guys who are ready to roll now. Then we've got Freddie Potts in terms of fitting into that spot, maybe next season. And then we've signed Mamadou Kante from Paris FC, who has been loaned back to Paris, but he is one for the future. So you can see the 5-year plan in place. Similarly, that's sort of our wing option, so to speak. Kudus. Then he brings in Somerville to complement that. Then, if we're led to be believed, probably I wouldn't be surprised if Kudus probably leaves it next summer when his transfer, unless we have a very good season this season, of course. But we've got George Earthy, who'll be out on loan, in the same way that Freddie Potts is out on loan. And then we've bought Luis Guilherme as well. So you can see sort of then, now, that is, what's it, WWE? Is it then, now, forever? That's basically what we're doing now. We've got the players for now, we've got the players for then, and then we've got the players for the future. This is the Brighton model that we've all been talking about, really, in essence. And you can see what they're trying to do. And obviously, there's different positions. There's different positions where we haven't bought that in yet. But as I said, I still believe we're about 12 months behind where we should have been since we brought Tim in, because of last year. Last year was almost like, I think Tim was almost like treading water, it seemed, with David Moyes, having to veto, had the power to veto. Now we've got a situation where you can see what he's trying to build. You can see it. You could even probably look at it kinda in the forward line, maybe. The fact is you've got Callum Marshall out on loan. So you've got the likes of the Folk, Antonio, who can play now. Maybe one more. Aston Villa are looking to buy Samu Amadou, and that's £35 million. Who do they need to? They probably need to sell someone for £35 million. I wonder who that could be. And then Callum Marshall, and then from the academy, Josh Ajala, Bosch. Different people, but that type of progression. Goalkeepers: Areola, Fabianski, Bosch, Fred Wes. He's not going to play, but Bosch. Then you've got the likes of Heggie. Then you've got the likes of Mason Terry, Finn Herrick, who we know that Lopetegui really, really has a lot of hope for. Bosch. Circle of life, my friends. Circle of life. Who had in your bingo card that we're going to sing Elton John by the end of the show? Anyway, if you're new around here, don't forget to give it a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Also, let me just give you a bit of heads up. We've got, where is it? There it is. We've got the new and released 1965 Alloy Collector's shirt. It's a thing of beauty, my friends. And now it's available to purchase. We had it on pre-order. We had the one-offs. I've got them here. I've got my one. I've got Anton's one. I have not given Anton's. They are beautiful. Come in a nice little presentation. You might see on Twitter. We gave Stag one, Brian Deere. He loved it. He was going to get his grandson to put the number on the back for him. There we go. But it's available now. Alloy Collectors, we'll put the link in the description. West Ham Network subscribers get 15% off. And if you put in WHM15, I think on their site it's 10%, but we're giving you extra. And I'll tell you what he's giving you extra. West Ham Network extra. Oh, I'm fucking good at these segues. Tonight, 8:00 on the extra channel, Alex has got a Crystal Palace fan on talking about the game ahead, the opposition chat with Palace Mad Mason. So that he looks a bit mad on the picture. So that's 8:00 tonight. So make sure you subscribe to the West Ham Network extra channel in order to make sure you don't miss any content. Until next time, we're about Hammer's headlines in a bit, talking about a few transfer rumours. And we've hit 200. 200 players we've been linked with. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. Come on, you irons.